microphones. Microphones, where they are, here. And in, please.
I guess yes, it does work. So we are trying to fill boots of the leader, Professor David Lamas. So we don't exactly fill it fully, even though we are 2 for his feet, but we try to do our best. So we are talking about digital transformation through lifelong learning. And yes. Good. The gap and problem that we have found through our previous projects and research is that, as you heard in the morning, I wasn't the full morning, but part of it, and it seemed to tell the same thing, is that the society and the technology is going very fast forward, and we have a problem of keeping track with upscaling and understanding and learning and creating new knowledge. And that's where we want to tap in, and we need a lot of different disciplines to do it. So our team is interdisciplinary. We have educational sciences, workplace learning, and in the technological domain, human-computer interaction, learning analytics, data visualization, and algorithmic design. And I'm representing more the softer side, and Daniel is representing more the harder side. And there's a list of the projects that have fed in defining this gap. Most of them are learning, workplace learning, learning analytics, innovation in organizations, and the one that Tallinn University School of Digital Technologies is really proud of, learning layers, where I was also when I wasn't there, but I was representing Aldo then. So our goal is actually to enhance collaborative learning, but not only inside workplaces, but also across workplaces, because what we have found out so far is that companies learn from each other. So if there's space enough that enhances this with scaffolding tools, it's possible for companies to fill part of the gap that universities are doing on training too slow the workforces. This doesn't, of course, directly fix the SECMO PhD industrial thing, but it might go towards that direction. So that's the sort of methodological part. Then we have the digital educational services in the language that was in the tech card that we call more forecasting tool. We haven't yet found a better name for it. But that will be a tool that more or less should help the companies to see where their future learning gaps are based on what direction they want to go. Our research question is more or less how these methods and tools will enhance across workplace collaborative learning. And we actually were given nice slides with ready-made titles. We have changed them a little bit. So one of them was early stage researcher's path. And how we have been figuring out for us is that the early stage researchers come from two, like us, 2 different sides. So more from the pedagogical and technological. And we put them together. So they form the teams and they design and investigate together with the industries. So early on, we will collaborate with industries. We have a bunch of them who have already agreed to work with us to find out practices that there are now, what they would need for enhancing, and what kind of tools there are currently in use, and the requirements for this forecasting tool. The conceptual prototype will be also tested by the team within the industry. And lastly, when it's in a good enough state, we will test it in authentic cases. And our methodology is combined of qualitative and quantitative part. So qualitative one is the one that I know more. We have their observations, workshops, maybe change laboratory. Participatory design is especially the one that combines the PhDs hopefully also some masters within the PhD work with the industries, to then do the technical one. And now, Danial.
You can hear, yeah. So again, I try to walk you through the work packages and methodology with respect to every work package briefly. In the work package number 1, we have this framework, we call it overall framework, that kind of integrates the pedagogical approaches for pedagogical approaches used for fostering the workplace learning, and also the kind of digital tools that are used for these kind of practices. So we will do a systematic review on that, and based on our finding, we will design some sort of studies, like observations in companies, to see what we found from the literature review makes sense, or we need to revise it, or we need to some kind of augment it. And in the meantime, we will do kind of some sort of analysis on reports and practices, right, if I'm not mistaken, on governments and company places where we can crawl data and use unsupervised machine learning to find some sort of sequential patterns, and use topic modeling again to find more insights. So we have the literature review, we will have the observation study, and also we will do the data mining part. And hopefully at the end, by the end of the first work package, we will do kind of solicitation of expert, where we bring all these findings together in order to validate our theoretical background. So once we have it validated and ready, we start with the second work package, where our goal is to develop the digital, here, Merja mentioned, the forecasting tools, or I would call it like an analytical dashboard. So based on the first work package, we start the second work package, and also, I would say, with another systematic review of the use of machine learning and forecasting methods used in business intelligence, workplace learning, and lifelong learning, to see which kind of models and methods they have been used, and based on what we find. And the first work package, we will start experimenting with different models, and we try to develop this forecasting dashboard, which can help companies to know which kind of knowledge and skills they would need in the future. And then hopefully our dashboard, we are hoping to have the 4 layers of analytics, starting from descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and also we try to develop an optimization method on top of it in order to provide prescription for companies. So basically, this would be it, and our colleague would help on the final part of the dashboard, which has to do with the data visualization. We need to know how much of data we want to feed to the users, and what's the granularity, and how much of customization they need to have, and etc. So work package 2 finishes, we go to the third work package, which is the empirical study. We design, what do they call it, pilot studies, in order
Case studies, yes.
Case studies, pilot study, to see the effectiveness or appropriateness of our method with respect to HCI and educational perspective. And based on that, I mean, after the pilot study also, we will do like a larger scale study, and we come back to the second work package to refine our dashboard that we had. And finally, we will have the fourth work package, which is the contribution,
Yes.
like the dissemination.
Yes, but actually you went really nice together in these slides. So I will go a little bit backwards, because that what Danial explained was really nicely how these come together, so that we can actually iteratively validate what we are doing. So we're definitely not designing anything without the users, in this case, the industry. And you were asking about the fourth one. So basically, with the work package 1, our results are the pedagogical framework, collaborative knowledge creation, good practices, examples, and micro degrees that we also do with companies or industry. Forecasting dashboard, as you know, noticed we are without the name, a good sexy name for our main tool, but it will come. The work package 3, we will finalize the early stage researcher model. As Daniel nicely explained, we iterate so that our theoretical framework actually represents what was in the field. and we evaluate our tools and instruments and refine our micro degrees. So each of the work packets will, of course, give results and outcomes for dissemination and communication from the start of the project. In the end, we will export the packages. Hopefully have a spin-out that was also discussed in the morning. As I have understood, Tallinn University is the latest in putting the path to the Technopole. Tartu and TalTech supposedly have it, but I assume that through our project we will join them. So that will bring us to our...
Yes, it's the time, but it's meant in a way that the audience has short questions also possible to ask you.
Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 we will bring to the export packages, the digital educational packages as well as the tools, and we will have the early stage researcher path. I will jump a little bit because it seems that I don't have that much time. It will be done with the SECMO. That was also discussed in the morning. So basically, we are aiming to give some input how it could be done better or improve it. Also, what we put in the early stage researchers path is that they will create webinars and seminars together with the industry, telling their experiences, so thus exporting and disseminating it better, which will increase the PhD possibilities to come here in Estonia, or not possibilities, but the attractiveness, because both of us know that there's a problem, and this problem we might be able to fix. The visa problems we are not able to fix, at least in this project. Micro degrees, we export those and expand those. And of course, this forecasting dashboard. And this was also a slide that was asked, but since we have been saying already most of it, the one thing that hasn't been said yet is that we will also do 2 conferences, 2005 and 2025, with the industry.
Thank you. Any questions from audience? I do have one short question. Is the system which allows you to educate whatever you want, universal system, the framework to...
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully it is general. That's why we are doing a literature review. And based on what we find, we go through this unsupervised machine learning to find patterns, whatever pattern is out there, and then we solicit expert knowledge in order to have one universal, generalized, hopefully, framework.
Well,
that would be the beginning, yeah.